Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Troy Campbell. Local restaurant owners, they're concerned over mobile food vendors setting up shop near their businesses, and they say they're stealing their customers. It's a problem Kern County Health Officials say continues to grow. 23 ABC's Carlos Correa, he's live in our studio. And Carlos, you found out that some of these vendors are breaking the law?
That's right, Troy, and there is a list of complaints, but with limited resources, it's sometimes hard to catch these mobile food vendors who often have expired or no permits to serve food to the public. 6 years ago, Acucena Cilino decided to start her own business, and with paying for insurance and taxes, food and all the permits necessary, it hasn't come easy.
We want to open a restaurant because we love Mexican food and we want to share the Mexican food with the community.
But the family worries as they compete for customers with mobile food vendors who environmental health officials say often operate illegally.
We want to make sure that they're doing it safely and they're not going to make anybody sick. A lot of the foodborne illnesses that you see, it's not just you're sick and you get over it. You can be hospitalized, and sometimes you can have lifelong health effects from those illnesses.
Like restaurants, vendors are supposed to have their permits updated and visible, which is a good sign their business is legit.
I bet most of us think they have a permit, but yeah, it would be good to know if they did have a permit to, for sanitation.
The food is good, but I did get food poisoning from one of them one time. And it was during the summer months, and they should be a lot more careful.
If you decide to visit one of these mobile food vendors, then environmental health officials say make sure they have one of these orange stickers, which means they've passed inspection and are good to go to serve food.
Okay, give me 3 with meat and 3 without.
Mobile food vendors like this one we discovered have all the proper paperwork and are following all the rules.
When I serve the food, it's thinking it's for me and for my family. Always. I think that before I do something with the food.
The only problem is the permit on display expired back in 2007. This food vendor, who environmental officials have tried many times to inspect, told us he wasn't doing anything wrong. In fact, to see his permits, he asked if we would come back the next day, so we did. Do you have your permits? You told me yesterday you were going to bring them. Do you have them? He didn't want to talk, but as you can see, his food setup changed dramatically.
If they had something different set up here last night, then it's may or may not still be legal as far as the transient portion. I need to do some research on this property. There's zoning requirements, so they only allow transient businesses. The property's got to be zoned appropriately.
That man was not cited tonight, but forced to shut down his operation for at least the next 30 days until he can get the appropriate city permits. Now, depending on what food vendors are serving, operators can expect to pay anywhere between $165 to $520 a year. In the studio, Carlos Correa, 23 ABC.